Hey, Las Vegas. Thanks for joining us back here on Vegas Realty Check, your local Las Vegas real estate show. It is Thanksgiving week, and I am Trish Williams.
And I am Tiana Carroll. Welcome back to the show. We are going to discuss everything real estate going on in the Valley by starting, like we always start, with our inventory numbers.
Inventory for this week, yes.
Little tick.
So a little bit of tick. Inventory is going up.
Yeah.
We are currently at 4,177 single-family homes on the market.
Yeah. So was it last week or the week before we broached 4,000? It's
been a couple weeks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, right. Because 2 weeks of over 4,000 active listings, single-family homes. That's not all the listings. That's just for single-family residents. There's also townhomes and stuff available.
Yep. Our sold numbers are down slightly. They're at 377. We were hovering in the 4s and 5s for a bit.
Yeah.
So we're down a little bit.
Yep. A little bit of extra inventory, a little bit less in the sales, but our we have some price decreases at 418.
Yeah.
It's about
that's
average.
Pretty average, yeah. One thing I looked at this week that I wanted to take note of, just because the sold numbers are down. When the sold numbers are down, I always look at new listings versus under contract for the week.
Right.
Because what we like to see, very good market or very healthy market, is when those numbers are very consistent. When the under contract are higher than the new listings, that's an indicator that we have, a pretty bad inventory shortage.
Right, or we're going shorter and shorter. But that didn't happen this week.
No. This week, actually, our new listings were slightly higher than the under contract, which is an indicator of softening, of course, with under contract at 431.
Well, listen, coming to the holiday season and then having all of the fear-mongering going on in the media, I'm surprised any real estate feels like it's happening. Everywhere I turn, everybody's like, the market's crashing, the market's crashing, the market's crashing.
Yeah, it's not.
It's cool for this, but it's seasonal, right?
It's seasonal. It's cooling, and the one thing that we were talking about this last night. It drives me crazy. Is the Fed announced next year in 2024 they're going to start with recovery mode.
Yep.
So they're going to start adjusting rates down. Rates are going to start coming down as that's what they're saying.
Right.
We'll see when it happens, but they're going to start early 2024 and start adjusting rates down.
I believe I lost the word. I almost wanted to say Federal Bank, Central Bank. The central bank has already started adjusting those rates on lending.
Yeah.
So
we have seen some rates softening.
Yep.
So that's happening, and they're saying that we could go down about 3 points next year, which would be phenomenal. Again, election year, right? They say it wasn't going to happen. I knew it was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen.
I saw it coming.
Every election year, the rates come down. It's not happened, but they used another excuse for it.
Right.
It still happened, right?
Right. Well, that would be great news for people who bought prior to, just 6 months ago, right?
Yeah.
Because you just need 6 months of consistent payment before you can refinance. So the old euphemism, date the rate, is such a good example right now, because if you're buying, and you happen to buy in this market right now, 6 months from now you can refinance, and if those do start coming down, then that would be amazing.
You get the benefit. And this is what drives me crazy with people. People out there, just listen to me, please. No, this is what's driving me crazy, is because right now is the perfect time, buyers. This is the time. Prices are good.
I feel like we said this last year, too, at this time.
Right. Prices are good.
But it was great last
year.
year.
You can get a deal. You can get concessions. And we're going to talk about what concessions really are today. But you can get those deals. You can get the deals because there's not a lot of buyers out there shopping. There's not a lot of homes going into contract. You have opportunity now. The rate is higher, but you date that rate. 6 months, you can refinance that rate. This is your window of opportunity. When the rates come down, there goes all the competition. There goes all the buyers that you're competing against.
There goes all the concessions.
And there goes your concessions,
that's not
your prices, everything. This is the good time, but everybody stops at the same time. All the buyers just stop at the same time. They're like, well, rates are coming down. We're going to wait.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. do what the opposite of what other people are doing.
Date the rate.
That is your word of advice for today.
And for all the doomsdayers that are out there waiting, they will be happy to know that on November 30th, there'll be no more extension. Well, in May, they stopped the extensions on the CARE Acts, but all of the doomsdayers are waiting for November 30th, hoping that hundreds of thousands of foreclosures will go on the market. I doubt that because we still have competition in our buying, and they can get market value if they do it on that NOD, but I don't see foreclosure after foreclosure after foreclosure.
And most homeowners still have equity.
Exactly.
Like you have to have no equity to foreclose. You can't. I mean, you can foreclose with equity. It's not a good financial
That's a
decision.
bad decision. Don't do that. Don't do that.
But in most cases, if you have equity, you have no need to foreclose. So in news this week here in Las Vegas,
Okay.
F1, after all, what we
11
have,
months?
3 months, 5
11
months,
months of F1.
The whole strip got remodeled, everything's done, and it's over. 2 hours? What was 2 hours?
It was the weekend, but yeah, the actual race was quick. And then the next day, the strip just looked like an open can of biscuits, boy. They were like tearing down stanchions. As fast as they tried to put it up, they were getting it down. But shout out, right? You're going to hear things like, you didn't think it was successful?
I mean,
It
it was successful, but I just don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get the hype. Like, what's so exciting about this?
I don't know. Maybe you need to get down there and smell those gas fumes and watch them speed by lightning and really just get into it, because it was kind of impressive. The fact that this global standard event happened in 11 months was nuts to me.
Yeah.
They threw up a paddock. They built a racetrack. They put up grandstands. They remodeled the strip, actually remodeled the strip.
It was just so bizarre. Like, why are we doing all this? I don't know, but I guess.
Well, over the next 10 years, I mean, for this to be the very first initial one and to go off as well as it did, I was quite pleased with the city. Yay, Vegas. You're awesome.
So we're on the map.
I think we were already there.
Yeah, but
I think we were already there.
We're getting better.
Yeah, exactly.
So there is other news. This is something I wanted to bring up because I say keep an eye on this area.
Oh.
So Lake Las Vegas area, Lake Las Vegas, if you haven't seen Lake Las Vegas in Las Vegas, wow, it's beautiful. It is beautiful. It's far out. It's far out from the city. It's a commute. If you're trying to get somewhere central, it takes a while to get there. It's its own little place outside, towards Lake Mead. Beautiful, beautiful place. But for the longest time, there wasn't a lot going on there because it's so far, it's so out. Some people just don't even know about it.
Right. So far, so out. You're making it sound like it's hours away.
No.
It is at the
30,
edge of
45
Henderson at the gateway to Lake Mead, and it's like 35 minutes from Lake Las Vegas to the airport.
Yeah. So it's not that bad. But, people in Vegas are spoiled, and we think it's too far, or have always thought that. However, but with Cadence coming into that area like really started growing.
And for those of you who don't know, Cadence is not new, it's been going around now for about almost a decade, but it's Henderson's biggest master plan community. It was supposed to be the competition to Summerlin, but on the east side of town, they have a huge 500-acre central park with community Wi-Fi and bike rides and pools, and it's just a big master plan going out there. Different price points from starter home townhomes, which if you want to get in before December, they're offering crazy concessions
incentives
at the D.R. Horton townhomes that are going up there. So call me for that if you're interested. So Cadence is going out there. And when they brought Cadence out there, then there was more development. And there's going to be development on that Boulder Highway corridor, making the road more accessible. And
adding shopping. Shopping was always the biggest complaint for the area. But that area, keep an eye on it because that area is growing rapidly right now. rapidly.
Yeah.
I see that as a big hot spot for Vegas. It's starting to draw more and more people. And they just announced that there's a mine out there called Three Kids Mine.
Okay.
And it's near Lake Las Vegas. And it's now going to be the future site of over 3,000 homes.
Oh.
So growth in that area is happening fast and big, people. Keep an eye on that. So that is, you're looking for the next spot in Vegas to be. I think that is going to be one of those spots.
That Cadence, Lake Las Vegas area?
Yeah, and just a few months ago, someone had told me, I had someone that was shopping or looking in that area, and they were like, well, someone told me that area is like obsolete. I shouldn't even pay attention to that. And I was like, no, there's a lot of growth happening there.
Well, first and foremost, don't listen to anybody because you're going to let other people make standards for your living. That's BS, right? Make your own decisions. Go check it out. See if it's something that you like, that you can live with. The people who live out there love it. And love it. Wouldn't live anywhere else.
There's some beautiful views. Oh my gosh. There's some spots there where you get beautiful city views. There's spots where you can see the lake. I mean, there's...
Yeah, and if the lake is part of your lifestyle, then it's better to be on the east side of town anyway.
Yeah.
You don't want to be in Summerlin toting a boat all the way out to the lake or paying for a slip out there when places, especially in Lake Las Vegas, there's communities like Calico Basin and stuff. They have boat storage and RV storage right in the community. So, yeah, there's options.
And if you like that, outside of the HOA on your own land and there are so many areas out there that have those big half-acre to acre lots where you can
still
build custom.
zoned county, horse properties, all of that on that side of town. So you're taking like a little bit of Summerlin and a little bit of Centennial Hills and you're sprinkling it across the Lake Valley and Henderson. So it's kind of cool. So don't let anybody make your decisions for you. Go out there, see if you like it. That's who make the decisions. You make your own decisions.
Yes, but that area is growing. There is growth happening there, more growth coming in that area. They're opening up the freeway. They're connecting it through Sunrise Mountain. I mean, not the freeway, the main street over there.
Yeah.
There's
And they're doing that cut through across the wetlands, which is going to make that commute into Henderson so much easier. Yeah. You're absolutely right. There's development going on, not only in the building of the houses, but the municipal engineering and the city is planning and
so there's going to be a lot. Keep an eye on that area. So today we're going to talk about concessions,
which is a great thing to talk about today because in this market, even though the prices haven't decreased or dropped, sellers are giving concessions to move those properties. And that's something that you're not going to get in a competitive market. If those rates drop and 10,000 people jump into the buyer pool, then sellers are going to be like they were in 2022, wanting the world.
Right. So let's start first off, just basic. What is concessions? It is not popcorn and candy.
Oh.
It could be.
Wait a minute. I love popcorn and candy. Can we get concessions?
Yeah, it could be. But concessions are when you're purchasing a home and you're asking for the seller to give something more to the purchase.
Yep.
We call that concessions.
Yep. Give us a gift, give us a break, pay for our closing costs, do something. Something, please. Yeah.
So in this market where we're seeing, and there's some people that have said, even though prices haven't really come down much or adjusted down much, slightly, but not much, we're seeing a lot more concessions, which are contributing to the overall final net for the seller.
Right.
So
they're noted in the MLS for appraisal reasons.
Yeah, they're noted there. So we are seeing a little bit of softening there. Concessions are the first things that you see to come into play rather than just money off the price. But buyers prefer, in many cases, concessions over price reduction because when you look at that, if you were to get a credit towards your closing costs. So just to throw numbers out there, say you had to come in with $10,000 closing cost. Closing costs aren't rolled into the loan. That's cash out of pocket.
Yep.
Okay, so if you were to get the seller to pay that closing cost, That's $10,000 cash you keep in your pocket.
That you do not have to bring to the table.
That you do not have to bring to the table. However, if that $10,000 were to come off the purchase price of the home and you were financing,
that would just be dollars a month on your mortgage payment.
Yeah, what are you, like $20 a month maybe? I don't know, depends on rate structures, everything, but that is...
But it's minimal.
Yeah.
It's minimal.
Minimal. You're going to see so much bigger of an impact by taking advantage of that concession and getting that cash that you get to keep in your pocket, which is more beneficial to the buyers.
Yep.
So...
And you can write concessions into your initial offer, or they can come in after a home inspection, or in your appraisal period, you can make adjustments.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, one thing, speaking of appraisals, one thing when you're asking for concessions,
okay.
The home still has to appraise.
It does.
Yes.
It does.
So, sometimes people are like, well, I know this home's at the top of its value. It's barely going to appraise, but I'll add $10,000 to the price to get $10,000 back in concessions. It doesn't work that way.
Right.
So the overall value has to work out. So keep that in mind. That's where your realtor comes into play, advising you of where we're at with that and what we have room to ask for.
Right. And there's limitations on what we have room to ask for.
Yes. Concessions, sellers can't pay your down payment.
Right.
No.
And they can't just give you $50,000 on a $300,000 house. It's a percentage that they can give you.
Yeah. Depending on your loan type, the loan limits will put a cap on the amount of concessions that you're allowed to receive from the seller. So it could be 3%. And when I'm a listing agent on,
you're like, when I'm wearing the listing agent hat.
When I'm wearing my listing agent hat on properties, I love it when buyers come in and ask for a high amount of concessions, and I look at their loan type, and I tell the seller, just say yes.
Just say yes.
They can't get it anyway.
They can't get it anyway.
Because there's a cap.
There's a cap.
They'll feel like they're getting a lot, but then their loan's going to step in and say, well, you only get to have this much of it. So,
right. Sneaky Miss Trish.
It's not sneaky. It's just the agent should know the
agent should know.
structure.
And here's the thing: we're not finance, right? So we're not your lender, but they do use these handy dandy little charts that let us know exactly what we can do, like on a conventional, where it's your primary or your secondary, it's less than 10% down, then you can only get 3% concessions.
Right.
If it's 10 to 25% down, you can get 6% concessions.
That's a lot.
If it's more than 25% down, then you get 9% concessions of that sale price. Mm-hmm. And that's on conventional. FHA for the primary, 3.5% down or more, you can only get up to 6%, period.
Yeah, 6%'s a lot, though.
Yeah.
So that is good. So yeah, there's
and just VA primary is up to 4%, and it doesn't matter the down payment on that one, obviously,
because there's zero
right.
down.
And USDA is 6%. So if you can get a USDA, that's a better loan for certain parts of our valley.
Yeah.
Yep.
So for the seller's concessions, when you're asking for that, and we see that a lot right now with builders. Builders are doing the rate buy downs, you know, and it's a concession. They're offering an amount to buy down your rate. So when we come to rate buy downs, it could be things such as 2-1 buy downs, where they put a reserve account to make your payment lower for a certain amount of time.
Right, 2 years and then 1 year, and then on the third year, surprise.
Hopefully the rates are better by then. So there's lots of options there. Rate buy downs can be one of those things that you use concessions for. The other thing that you could use concessions for is just paying your closing costs. You know, your closing costs are your loan origination fees, your prepaid taxes, your homeowner's insurance, building up your escrow account, your prepaid HOA dues, things like that. So setting up that account, that's why you have to come with closing cost. Getting the seller to pay those or pay some of those can help you out tremendously with keeping more cash in your pocket.
Yeah, and you always need cash in your pocket. I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
I mean, like all the cash. Well, moving, buying a house, you don't have your down payment and your closing costs. You have your moving and any kind of repairs that you want to make or upgrades or whatever. It tends to be a chunk of change, especially for like the first year and a half. You feel like you're constantly like fixing something or changing something or nesting.
Yeah.
A home goods shopping trip with that extra money could be fun.
Yes, absolutely. And another thing that people will ask for, which very common, ask for in concessions, is a home warranty.
Yep.
Yeah, and a home.
I mean, it's right in our contract.
Yeah, it's automatic in every contract that I write. I put in a home warranty because it's when you move into the home. Home warranties are not perfect. They're
Those are the facts, ma'am. You got that right. Yeah.
They can be
people
annoying.
love them or hate them.
Well, I don't know anybody that like truly loves them, but it's a peace of mind.
It is a peace of mind, and if you are getting the concession from the from the seller as a buyer, take it. Take it for the first year. If you need it, it's there. It's great for things like appliances and HVAC.
Yeah. I mean, do homes know that they changed owners? Because it just feels like every time, like on an older home, the home's working fine, inspection was good, everything was fine. You get in, you settle in, and then something breaks. It's like it knows it has a new owner. It's like, fix me, fix me.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. How many of us live in our little quirky houses and we know like we gotta like shimmy this door or we have to do this. So if you come in not knowing all those little tips and tricks, then you're bound to break something, right?
Yeah, or you just, we get so caught up in our like day-to-day things that we don't even realize.
Oh yeah, we let stuff slide.
Yeah, or we don't even realize it, and it's like until it's brought to your attention, like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I guess that is a problem, but I've just been doing it for so long.
Right. I got a technique to shut this dishwasher door. I don't know what's wrong. What are you thinking? It works just fine as long as you stand on one foot and put your pointer finger to your nose and hop around, it'll be fine.
I had a dishwasher that I was like for like I swear like 2 months. I was like, why? I'm insane. Why am I doing this? And there was a little thing underneath. I was like plugging the thing because it would like disconnect. It would just like short out, and I would just go and plug the thing. And I'm like, why am I doing this?
Why are you doing? Yeah, because you get complacent, right? There's so many things in life that it's hard to completely stay on top of everything, and things that don't demand your immediate attention unless that dishwasher's spewing water under your floor. You're like, it's fine. We'll fix it later. We'll deal with it later.
Yeah,
kicking it down the road.
Yeah, just forget about it. That's what we do. It's life. We're human, right? So
yeah, life's kind of busy.
Yeah, another thing that we see in concessions, sometimes it's, I guess it could be called a concession, financially not really, because personal property's not part of the real estate contract. I mean, we can make it part of the real estate contract, but it doesn't contribute to the value.
It doesn't contribute because it's all personal property. Unless
there's like a deed outside of sale, or there's options to make that happen. But sometimes people ask for things like furniture or...
Yeah, I've had lots and lots of clients walk through and fall in love with a table, a piece of art, outdoor furniture, ask for them, and get them.
Yeah, and get them.
Lots of times it happens.
Yeah, and you never know. Like, where's the seller going? If the seller's leaving state, they might be trying to get rid of that stuff anyway. So if you want it, ask for it, see what happens.
And if the seller has a good agent, they've already made sure that anything that is definitely not a part of the sale has been noted in the MLS or put away, so it's not even dangled in front of the buyer to enjoy.
Yeah. No, that's a big one too. Like if you have like some fancy chandelier that everybody's going to love and you're taking it, take it.
Yeah.
Get rid of it before we start showing the house, because everyone's going to ask for it.
Yep. Yeah. But for other things, patio furniture and just normal stuff, a lot of times sellers are like, yes, they can have it. Anything to make this deal happen. I don't want to move it anyway.
Yeah. It's and closed mouth doesn't get fed. So you sometimes you just got to ask for it and see what happens. There's definitely been times in our market over the years where asking for concessions can be a hard no and make you lose the house.
Right. So there's a time to play in this concession, and I mainly work with buyers, not all the time, but mainly. And for me, I'm always gauging the market. Like, what can I get away with asking and what can't? It's not that I don't want you to have that patio, but they're getting multiple offers. We're not going to let a patio set get in the way of us getting this house.
Yeah.
Like we're not even going to put any sort of red flag or stop sign where they immediately look at our offer and go, nope, next.
Yeah.
No, we want to be competitive. So in some markets, I won't ask for concessions. In this one, all day long, wrong. I'll be like, give it to me, baby.
The whole farm. I want it all. The
Yep,
cows,
whatever
the
you got.
chickens.
I'll take that and that. Put that in there. We're going to add that to the offer too.
Yeah.
And
So
it's working.
it does. It does work very well in this market. So that's another thing. Get your realtor's advice. Talk to them. We don't want to write contracts that are not going to get responses.
Right.
Like that's the worst. When you're writing an offer and no one will even answer you back, you know you wrote the worst offer ever.
Right?
But
You're sitting in doubt. You're like, oh, do they hate it? Do they hate it? Just reject me so I know.
yeah, just
They're like, my
just
silence
say no.
is the rejection.
Yes. But yeah, we want to keep things reasonable, but we're in that spot right now where you can ask for things
Yep.
and have a very good chance of getting them. So take advantage of the market that we're in.
Yeah, and that's really the best advice in doing any sort of real estate transaction, right? Is making sure you're making the smartest moves in that environment to get what you need.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's we are when rates start to come down next year, if it happens like they say it's going to, we're not going to see that.
No, we're not. We're not. It's going to be, I've worked in this market, and this right now in Vegas, I would consider a slower market, right? For Vegas, this is slow. For another part of the country, they'd be like, oh my gosh, you've got like almost 400 sales this week, blah, blah, blah. No, this is a slow market for Vegas, and take advantage of it, because when those buyers come in, trust me, I've worked in those frenzies. It is madness and chaos. When I say for clients, I've written 32 offers and not one of them accepted, and good offers. Some of them cash over appraised value, no contingencies, meaning no warranty, no appraisal, no loan contingency, anything that could hold up that contract. We're like, we're waiving everything, take our money. And you still can't get offers when it gets crazy here in town.
Yes, and there is a such thing as buyer concessions in markets like that, where the buyers start offering the seller stuff to get that offer taken.
Money over appraised value, rent-free leasebacks for a few months. There's things that buyers can do to sweeten the pot in those type of environments so that the seller will pick their market, because then you're just throwing everything at the seller. What do you want? What do you want? We've offered Golden Knights tickets. Do you remember that?
I remember the Golden Knights tickets we offered to get a listing or an offer accepted.
Yep. So there's different things that you can do to sweeten that pot for the seller if you're in that environment. Yeah. This is not that environment. Right now, the sellers are the ones giving it up to the buyers.
Yeah, I had a client that had a food truck business that offered a going away party catered to the sellers to make them take his offer. So, hey, anything goes, right?
It's all negotiable.
It's a contract. If it's signed upon and agreed upon, and we can come to terms, we can make it happen.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely,
that's the beauty of real estate. It's just when it comes to the financial aspect of it and financing any of those concessions.
Right. Yeah, well, when the government steps in, there's rules and regulations.
Well, yes. So those concessions can't contribute to the appraised value of the home.
Yeah, government-backed products are like, no. You only get this. Can't have too much.
Yeah. So, I mean, even things such as appliances, new AC, water heater, things like that could be considered concessions to a contract.
Yep.
Yeah. So, now you guys are versed and you know what concessions means.
Yep.
And you're not.
And you've got some ideas of what type of environments they work in, whether you're buyer or seller, what you should be asking for. But again, if you need help with any of that information, a good realtor could be out there and advise. I know a good realtor named Trish Williams. If you want to contact her, how would you get a hold of you?
702-308-2878. And I know a great realtor named Tiana Carroll.
Thank you.
And Tiana, how do people reach out to you?
If anybody wants to have conversations about real estate, give me a call, shoot me a text at 702-379-9948.
And this week, you guys enjoy your turkey. Try not to overeat. Well, no, this week, go ahead. Overeat.
No, overeat. I started overeating last week when the celebration started, and I'm sure for the next 6 weeks I will be having a great time overeating.
Yes, and just on a personal note, I will miss you guys for the next 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm going to be gone.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you're in the beautiful hands of Tiana.
You got me, guys.
Yeah.
You got me. If that's scary to you, unsubscribe now. But
No,
I'm just kidding.
do
I'm just
not.
kidding. Don't unsubscribe.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. But if you do find value in the content, we're here every week trying to keep you with these boots on the ground knowledge of what's going on in Las Vegas real estate. And if you do find value and want to make sure you don't miss any of that information, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, download these podcasts, and just be a part of our tribe and community. We really, really appreciate it.
Yes, and Tiana has some great things in store for you guys for the next couple weeks. So I will be watching remotely from the beach. And
I might be in here drinking pina coladas, wishing I was on a beach. You never know. Come back and find out.
and we'll see you guys. Well, Tiana will
see you guys
next week.
Next week and the beginning of January. But we'll see you mid-January, ma'am. No.
I'll be back before Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
I don't know what I was just saying.
That's okay.
I'm like, what month are we in? We're not in December yet.
Yes.
In my mind, I'm already celebrating. So we're in December. But no, you'll be back.
I'll be back before Christmas. Right before Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah, it's only 3 weeks.
Yeah. So yeah, it'll be fun. And we'll see you guys. Happy Thanksgiving.
All right, you guys, have a great week. We'll see you next week.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.